how to turn the brain of my underwater camera system, the Red Komodo, into a fully rigged up Red Komodo setup that I can use to film on land. This is the setup that I'll be using in future projects to complement my Red Komodo underwater footage and make those projects look even nicer. How I build up this rig, that's what we're going to look at in today's video. Hey there underwater filmmakers, welcome back to the channel. As always, great to see all these smiling faces to another video today, which is gonna be slightly different because it doesn't really have much to do with filming underwater, but I thought it might be interesting to you nevertheless. I want to show to you my Red Komodo build out. And I'm not talking about what I'm using to film with the Red Komodo underwater, because I've shown that here on the channel already. You know how my rig looks with the Red Komodo underwater. But because I have really fallen in love with that camera and the image that comes out of the Red Komodo ever since I've started using it about a year ago, I have actually decided to just make the next step and rig out the camera in a way so that I can also use it on land. So I have the same image quality when I'm working on projects that are not solely underwater, but also have some components that will be filmed on land. And this is what I'm going to be doing in this video today. I'm going to be showing you how I rig up my Red Komodo for land-based shooting. So if you look here at the table, I've laid out everything that I need to be able to rig that camera up in a way that I can actually comfortably use it on land. Now, as you might have known, the Red Komodo as it is itself is not really usable as a camera. You do really need to place quite a few extra bits and pieces onto that body to make it usable on land. Sort of the same as we do when I take it underwater. We also put quite a bit of extra bits and pieces on it to make it a complete system, and we have to do the same thing here if we want to use it on land. Most of the stuff that is here is actually from Small Rig. I've done quite a bit of research and looked around and tried to find something that would fit my needs the best, and I didn't really want to match too many different brands, so I stuck with Small Rig because they seemed to me to have the most compelling accessories and add-ons in the way that I wanted to use the Red Komodo on land. Now, I went forward and bought most of these accessories through the Small Rig site website itself, which honestly speaking I cannot quite recommend. There has been quite a few hiccups with that website, and products that have been marked as available on their website not being available anymore. And we had like two times actually, we had the situation that I placed an order, I paid for it, and only after asking for the shipment and why it hasn't been delivered yet after a week or so, they informed me that the product has been discontinued and they are no longer selling that product, even though it was marked as available on their website. So we had to cancel the order, they had to refund me the money, and I had to go and look for the piece that I wanted on Amazon and buy it from a third-party supplier there. And that has actually worked great. So I would highly recommend that you don't really go through Small Rig itself, but go through, for example, Amazon and a third-party supplier that actually has the stuff in stock that you're looking for. But enough talking, let's have a look at how we set this up. So as I said, everything is laid out here that I need to build this rig. Let's place the lens to the side for now so that we can concentrate on what is most important. So first and foremost, we're going to be placing the camera cage onto the Red Komodo. And I really like here with the small rig system that they do include even a little tool that helps you to attach the cage onto the Red Komodo, onto the body, because you know, I always look for coins to be able to attach these screws to the body of the camera. Here I don't have to do this, they're right there placed in the bottom of the camera. And I really like this system because it's magnetic, so it just snaps into place and it always stays there where you need it. All right, so next off, let's put on the lens. And this is my standard lens that I use also for underwater shooting. It's the Canon RF 15-35, an absolutely brilliant lens, and I'm going to be using that for my topside shooting as well. So next off, I'm going to be putting the tripod plate onto the setup. This is the tripod plate that comes with the attachment for the rods that I'll need to have a lens support on there, and also to attach the mat box on there. So again, I can use the included tool here to attach the tripod plate into place. I really love that. That works very, very well. All right. Make it nice and tight, and I think we can even squish this in here. Yeah, still works. With the magnetic system, it stays in place. We can then attach the rod system, or the attachment for the rods, and place the rods in there as well. Now, because I know I'm going to be using a support system and I'm going to be using the mat box, I want to keep the rods pretty much facing forward, or facing forward with the largest, biggest part of the rods. And then before I go into the mat box, I want to make sure to attach the follow focus, the lens support, and before I actually do that, I'm going to be attaching the handle. Now, this is like just one of the wooden handles that they have in their lineup, and I think that this works quite well. We can just attach that here. And just fine tune it to a angle that I find comfortable. All right. Okay. Next off, we can attach the follow focus. Now this is actually a really cool system, so that you don't have to focus on the lens itself, but you have a little knob that's going to be sitting here on the side, and that will make it possible for you to focus using that knob. And that actually works. I'll show you once it's all set up very, very nicely. So we'll just slide that in here and we line it up with our lens gear. Tighten that up. And once we've got that, we can now very, very comfortably use the focus with that wheel. Very nice. All right, so next off, we've got our lens support. Not entirely sure if that is really necessary on this lens, but because we have it, I'm gonna be placing it here anyways. It's probably not a bad thing to have that lens support on here just in case, because you know it is a rather heavy lens, and if you carry it around, you want to make sure that that lens is really secure and there's not too much strain on the mounting points on the Red Komodo. And even just like this, it is also already a pretty complete, compact little setup. You have the screen on the top. You can use the follow focus, manual follow focus there. And with that grip, you can actually hold the Red Komodo quite comfortably and film with it, use it for land-based filming in a very, very comfortable way. You can also push it against your chest or your tummy so that you get a third point of contact and get a little more stability with that. But we're not quite done yet. Next off, we're gonna be placing the top handle right on the top there. There we go. Sometimes I know what it was. I wanted to place it this way last time so that I have the center of gravity in a better place, so that now I can hold on here and I can actually hold it in a more comfortable way, in my opinion. So this is also a way, holding it here. If I want to be shooting from lower below, lower down, I can hold it here and still use the follow focus system that way, which works quite nicely. Now, to be able to have a external monitor, you have monitor mounts that you can place on here. I've got a little monitor mount that I'll be placing here. Now the monitor mount, you can obviously place any monitor that you want that works with the Red Komodo on here. I've just put a smartphone adapter or holder on here so that I can clip in my iPhone 14 Pro, and then via the Wi-Fi I can use the Red Control app, which works quite well, I have to say. There is a tiny little lag on it, but nothing too serious, at least not for what I'm wanting to do with the camera, so that works okay for me. Plus it keeps the whole system rather small and it doesn't put a huge monitor on top of the top handle. This way it's still nice and compact. And then last but not least, we're going to be putting on the matte box. The matte box that I decided to go for has the option of a variable ND filter that can be inserted there and that can be used with that matte box, which I find a great idea because the Red Komodo doesn't have any internal ND filters, and when using native RF glass you don't have the possibility to use that RF EF mount adapter that has the integrated ND filter in there. So that seemed to be the most logical way to go for me. So we'll be putting that adapter onto the lens. And then we can take the matte box and we can slide that onto the rods, and we should be able to just slide it over the lens. There we go. Tighten that up. Wrong way. Tighten it up. And here you go. This is my new Red Komodo setup when I decide to use this camera, not only for filming underwater, but also to record the topside shots that are included in the projects that I'm gonna be doing in the future. So there you go. This is my new topside rig for my Red Komodo. So in addition to being able to use that camera to film underwater, I can now in the future also use the same camera and get the same image quality for my topside shots, which is just going to look much nicer, combining the same type of shots and the same image quality in a single project. And I can't wait to use it for the very first time, which is going to happen in the Maldives, where I'm going for a little project and some relaxation time. And I'll obviously show you the finished product, the finished film, the finished project as soon as that's done here on the channel. Then you can see for yourself whether or not this makes a difference and whether or not it looks nice having the same quality footage and the footage coming from the same sensor, the same camera, when we talk about underwater as well as topside footage. I hope today's video was interesting to you and you've got something out of it. And please do let me know down in the video description below whether you've enjoyed the video, even though it didn't really have much to do with filming underwater. And please also let me know whether or not you think I should be doing these kind of videos every now and then here on the channel, or whether I should really stick to the underwater video topic and to the core of this channel. Thank you very much guys for your time and for watching, and if there's any questions to this rig, to any of the components of this rig, feel free to put them down in the comment section below. I'm also going to be putting some links to the individual parts of this rig down in the video description below, so if you want to go and check them out, feel free to do so. Until next Tuesday guys, have a fantastic week and keep capturing your underwater adventures. And if you want to know why I have chosen the Red Komodo in the first place for my underwater filmmaking, check the video here on the side. Have a great week and I will see you next Tuesday.